got a feeling that your school probably lied to you. They lied to me as well. But fortunately, there's something that you can do about it. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but you can really turn your life around, and all you need to know is to learn how to invest and start a business. Guarantee they've never spoken to you about money, never spoken to you about tax, definitely never spoke to you about investing, and they've probably never even spoken to you about how to actually set up a business. Even though I, like myself, did business studies, but they didn't tell me about all these different kind of things, how to actually set the business up on Companies House, simple things like that. And that's the thing, they don't want everybody to be rich, and look, there are ways to get there, like subscribing to this page, following the Wealth Creators Club. It's an online social media brand that I started, and the reason for that was to spread financial education, and while also trying to build an online business to try and create my own wealth and generational wealth for my family. So ultimately, if you do want to improve your life, if you do want to get more money, then you've either got to learn a high income skill or you've got to start a business. And then once you've done those two things, you've then got to invest the profits that you make from either your high income earning salary or the profits that you make from your business. You want to be investing them into well-known assets so they can then produce capital appreciation so that your money can make more money on its own and also get passive income and cash flow from those investments. The focus of this video actually wanted to be about how you actually invest and what actually investing is. So investing to me is allocating time and money and effort to a purpose which ultimately with the goal of generating an income and a profit. So my plan is to start an online business, use the profits from that to invest into property, stocks and cryptocurrency, mainly Bitcoin. That sounds too good to be true. It's impossible, but it's definitely not, because there's millions of people that have done it and millions of people that have generated generational wealth for themselves and their family and are starting to show others how to do the same thing. Now that we know what investing is, buying assets, hopefully they go up in value and also generate cash flow, what do you actually invest in and how can you actually invest? So there's actually many ways to invest. The common ways are with property, so rental properties. So this is one property method that I've done myself, and it's buying property through a limited company, through a buy-to-let mortgage, and then doing up that property to add value to it. Then I haven't done this yet, but I'll be speaking to a mortgage advisor probably when I look to remortgage in 2023, seeing what market conditions are like, revalue the property, remove equity from the property, and then place that down on another property and repeat the cycle again. There's also cryptocurrency, so Bitcoin is the main one, and then you've also got stocks and index funds. So these are kind of the main three that I kind of focus on myself, and that's what I invest in. But there's many other things out there. You could be invested in high-end watches, you could be buying and selling cars, be setting up any kind of online business, which is quite popular these days, or even a physical business. There's many ways to invest. It doesn't just have to be buying stocks or buying crypto. It could be investing all of your time and all your money into a business, which ultimately then you could use those profits then to be able to invest into well-known assets. Important things is to remember that, of course, none of this is financial advice, but also whenever you do, if you do get any financial advice, always make sure that it lines up with your financial goals and your life goals. So personally for me, I want an online business which is generating income that I can put into property for passive income. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I want a business that I can work through and I can do as one of my main tasks. And I also want to have passive income from rental property, which also appreciate in value. So those two things are my kind of goals, but there's other ways that you can get there, but you need to decide yourself what is the best method for you. Cryptocurrency is the most risky, but could be the most lucrative. I really like Bitcoin and the fundamentals of Bitcoin, so that's kind of what I put most of my money in a cryptocurrency sense. But this might not make sense to you. I'm working cybersecurity, so I've got a technological background, and Bitcoin and the new world of cryptocurrencies as a form of investment makes sense to me. But maybe there could be stocks that makes more sense to you. So I would say the property is probably the one is the least risky, but the hardest to get into because it can often take upfront capital, but there's also ways around that. Stocks and index funds, they're probably the most easy accessible, and you can start with a low amount of money and have proven to do well in the past, even though past performance can't indicate future predictions. But it's something there that you may be able to get your hands into and maybe able to understand a little bit more than maybe property. And then cryptocurrency then is probably the most risky until you've done your research into it. I wouldn't go jumping in and just throwing money into that. And then the final one is, of course, business, which is the hardest one to set up because you have to think of a product, a service, you have to be able to market it. There's loads of avenues down there. But if you do look at the top people who all had some kind of business rather than doing it all from investing. My overall investment strategy is to have my active income, which is my cybersecurity salary. It's also my the Wealth Creators Club, where I start to build that up in the form of, as I said in my last videos. If you check out my last video, it talks about how to make £1,000 online and then kind of build up from there. So if you go and watch that, please do let me know what you think of it. And if you are also liking this content, please do remember to like and subscribe, because it's going to really help out this page if you did find value from it. If there's anything you want to change, then also do let me know as well. My passive income then is from cryptocurrency staking, from cryptocurrency interest, from Bitcoin mining, and from one rental property that I've got, which has a long-term tenant in it, and they've been in there for quite a while. So I'm using these forms of income and then using those to funnel those into the investments. Now I feel like I understand what investing is. I feel like I know what my income sources are. Now I want to understand what I can actually invest in and what my strategy would be before I actually go and buy any of these assets. So the strategy that I came upon, and is one of the well-known wealth building strategies, is long-term investing, and it's basically long-term investing and buying well-known financial assets. Over a 20-year period, as you can see here, the stock market has continued to increase in value. Property prices have continued to increase in value over this 20-year period. Cryptocurrency hasn't been around that long yet, but if you had invested from the start, you would have been making a lot of money and it would still be profitable now. Of course, it depends when you invested with cryptocurrency. It hasn't been around that long, but based on property and stocks, over a 20-year period, nobody has lost any money. So this is kind of one of those things where past performance can't indicate future predictions, but it does kind of give you some confidence there. It gives me some confidence to suggest that this does actually work, and I feel like there's more risk with holding my money in the bank due to the impact of inflation. So that's something that you need to know as a new investor. What actually is inflation? So inflation is when the price of everyday goods or a basket of goods goes up in value, and the reason for that is a lot of government money printing. There's some other external factors that are also involved, such as supply issues and things like that, but the big part of it is government money printing. That inflation itself will take its own video, but it's a concept that you need to know as a beginner investor, that you're kind of battling, trying to find the assets which are going to go up in value and the ones which are going to sustain your return, which is going to outpace inflation as well. They don't make it easy for us, do they? As I said, the investment methods that I use at the moment are trying to start an online brand with the Wealth Creators Club, Bitcoin, mostly in terms of cryptocurrency. I don't do many single stocks. I like global index funds. There's some single stocks that I like Apple and Tesla, but I mostly focus on index funds. And then property, then I've got one rental property which is rented out on a normal buy-to-let mortgage through a limited company. I also invest in real estate investment trusts. I can't tell you what to invest in. I'm not a financial advisor, and even if you do have a financial advisor, you need to double check what they're telling you and make sure it lines up with your overall financial goals and your overall life goals, because they might have their own kind of agenda that they want you to follow, or they may have certain products that they think are best suited to you, but they may not actually be. So you need to always double check, understand what you're putting your money in. This is one of the main things with investing. Understand what your money's going into, and make sure that you're not investing money that you need to live day to day, because it's very important that you have an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, because if anything was to go wrong and your money was invested in something super risky, then you could find yourself getting into some difficulties, and could you fall into further debt from credit cards, trying to get yourself out of that situation. So I've shown you in this video my full strategy and my investing plan for the future. So I've also shown you exactly the things that I invest in. I'd be really interested to know if any of you have learned any of this information in school. If you have, then comment down below and let me know. As again, if you really like this content, please do like and subscribe, because it's going to really help out this page and help me push it to other people who are also looking to learn the same things, and also looking to try and get out of that rat race and maybe start a business and do something that they can really positively change their lives. So I've shown you the areas that I invest in, kind of more of a high level of the specific category in terms of business, crypto, stocks and property. I will go in depth into each specific one and actually what I do invest in. This is more of a high level video just to show that there is a lot more out there to be taught and to be learnt, and you won't get this information from school. But again, that's okay. It just means that you need to put the hard work in to be able to go and find that information yourself, because self-education will make you a fortune and formal education will only make you a living. So if you did enjoy this, then please do let me know by commenting down below. Or if you didn't enjoy it, then please also tell me how I can improve it, and we'll try and make this content better for you next time. Because ultimately I want to create an online YouTube blog that is going to spread financial education to the masses, but not also spread it to the masses, spread it in the most valuable way as possible. The plan is to make a video every Wednesday, so I can try and stick to that. Here's the one for today, and I'll see you again next week.